create something bigger than just the art.
Okay.
Create an experience, create a brand
Yeah.
that goes along with that. So it's been a challenge, man, honestly. And that's why, I mean, you look around this place, there's no art on the walls right now.
Right.
Because I'm in this phase where I'm trying to figure that out, how to do that, and just trying a lot of different things, experimenting until I feel that I hit on it.
So here's my thought onto it. Just like how you're forcing yourself to be a better communicator by being on the podcast.
Yeah.
How do you feel about having, like, you probably don't have to put in your own artwork out yet, but having other artists maybe like once a month just making an event here, and it almost forces you to surround yourself with other artists. It's kind of like how, like, tell me if I'm wrong, if the reason or the way that you got better at CrossFit is if you surround yourself with other CrossFitters.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
fitness people.
Absolutely.
So I personally believe it's the same thing with art. Like, I mean, there's some artists who kind of isolated themselves for their whole lives, but I don't think I think we both agree that's probably not the most healthy.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Networking, I think, is always beneficial.
Right.
One way that I've kind of started that already is by looking for opportunities with kind of interior designers or people who art dealers, I guess, people who buy and sell art for others.
Okay.
Either commercial or residential. So that's sort of where I've gone to sort of find that opening, I guess, for me to sort of fill that gap with artwork that they're looking for their space.
Let's take a step back and think about, like, you design this lobby, right?
I did.
Yeah. So wait, did you say like you were trying to get into the interior design world to be an interior designer, or more of trying to put your artwork with them?
Yeah, more to be the artist, to work along with them.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very into interior design and architecture, more from a fanboy kind of point of view, not necessarily like I don't really do a ton of it myself.
Yeah.
But I'm totally interested in how the art fits into that sector, I guess you could say.
But that's dope. I want to see if you can like put me in your brain to think about like how did you put everything together? Like on the other side of this camera, it's 3 like mason jars that are painted with flowers inside that are like evenly spaced. And like what would you call that color on the left? Like a teal?
On the left is it gray.
That's a gray?
The middle is kind of like a baby blue.
Baby blue, and then white.
Yeah, and off-white.
Off-white. Like when
a little distressing on it.
A lot of people don't understand colors and matching. That's something I've learned.
Yeah, color is key. And that's my favorite aspect about art. I'm really getting into, I don't know if you can see this book right here.
Yeah.
Color field art. So there's a Rothko book. It's all about color, but essentially color and form.
Okay.
But that's sort of my passion right now, man. I'm all about the abstract art, big, bold colors. So it's much harder than people would think. People might look at a painting like that and not really think much of it. It's red and blue, big deal. But there's a lot that goes into a painting like that.
Do you believe colors have meanings to it?
I believe that color can make you respond a certain way. And that's kind of my stance on art in general, is it elicits a response from you, and it's kind of unique for each viewer, right?
Yeah.
So the viewer kind of completes the artwork for me in a way. And that's one reason that I don't like to put any titles on my artwork that have any like obvious meaning behind or something. Like I wouldn't title something like Sunrise or something, because I don't want to put that thought in someone's head when they look at it. So I want it to be completely like a blank slate when they come to it, and they can have their own reaction and they can interpret it their own way.
Okay. Yeah. For me, coming from the business world, there's some key words and key colors. Like blue is generally the color of security, black is the color of luxury, yellow is youth and optimism. Like, and you put that in perspective. Best Buy is blue.
Yeah.
Trust, the Geek Squad, black. Anything black, the black card. Thinking about credit cards.
Virginia
that's
Black.
luxury, high expense.
Do you know Virginia Black?
I do not.
Oh, it's Drake's, I don't know, drink or something.
Oh, is this alcohol?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I heard he just made one.
I don't
didn't
drink
know.
alcohol, but
Really?
I know Virginia Black.
At
Yeah.
all?
No, not at all.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll mention one more. Yellow, McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Before McDonald's went modern and went like gray and brown tones, the red and yellow was seen as a marketing scheme to be for the youth. And red is probably the most like obvious color. Red is, I need your attention now. Like, think about red lights. Think about fire hydrants. Like, stop. It's emergency. Red is that key thing. And I guess for you, I guess for me personally too, I try to be an artist because I'm getting into like color corrections in photography.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm trying to use those definitions of colors into my photography now. And that helps me kind of give me a stage or framing. So how I want to present my photos. Like I've always been into cars growing up. And I think this is like a guy thing growing up. Mm-hmm. Cars, fast cars, muscle cars. And my favorite color is red. So I guess attention. It always grabbed my attention, of course. But then now I'm learning how to separate the foreground with the background. If it's a red car, I don't necessarily want to have a red background, like a sunset sometimes.
Yeah.
I want to kind of change it like a little more blue to have contrast. Like, do you think about that with your art too?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, color, I would say, is my biggest focus.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how colors can work together in different ways.
Like make you feel something.
Yeah. I don't really go so much for the feeling, more just the look. I mean,
interesting.
I mean, my art teacher in high school, when I asked you, or someone asked, how do you tell if art is good or not?
Yeah.
It's how it makes you feel.
Right.
Do you like the look of it or not? And that's kind of how I approach it. Do I think that these colors look good together?
Yeah.
Or not? Obviously, they can definitely make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And I think that's one thing that's said the most about Rothko's work. I don't know if you've ever been to the National Gallery.
I've been there a couple of times.
Yeah.
Have
you seen the Rothko room there? They have basically a room with just his artwork.
Okay.
They have a few pieces there, but it's something that people will like say they go break down and cry like in front of these paintings.
Wow.
And some people might think that's ridiculous, but it goes back to art is all subjective. But
yeah.
But I personally don't get that kind of emotion about color.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely people do.
We were talking about trying to find balance between work and an outlet. Like, I'm really big into like what's going on in the entrepreneurship world, like trying to do something for yourself. But I also believe in like outlets, like true outlets. Like your passion should not be your job sometimes. Yeah, because I wanted to tell the story about once I start working at a commercial gym, like I went through all my adversities. I went through the military to become a military personal trainer. But once I became a full-time personal trainer at a commercial gym, it was my lifeline. It was my finances. Like I needed to make a certain amount of money in order for me to live comfortably. But at the same time, I wasn't having as much fun training my clients anymore.
Right.
Because it was more like, oh shit, I need to get another client, or I need to train this many times this week or this time of the month, or else I won't have enough food or I won't have enough money. And then that's when I took a step back and I'm like, this was my fun time. This was my outlet.
Right.
So I found another job, and I cut back on my training time, and then I had more fun.
Yeah. So I think there's two ways to do it. Is you can kind of cut back,
Yeah.
or you kind of have to find that other escape or that other outlet that's maybe something new.
Yeah.
To sort of fill that void.
Yeah.
I guess. Because I've kind of had that same experience here, because now this is where I work.
Yeah.
And so now working out here is no longer my escape. You know, working out used to be my time to blow off steam, to escape from whatever else is stressing me out in life. But now it's all in that same environment, so it's not that same experience anymore.
There's another book that I read by Robert Greene. It's like the 48 Laws of Power. I think like one of the top 3 rules was like your reputation is everything.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realize now, once you own your own business, it's really hard to portray yourself as yourself versus the professional. So it's like when I work out by myself, like I'm usually like shirt off. I'm just sweating. I'm letting it all out. Like me being in the military, that was like the best time I ever had, like with fitness, because I was with a bunch of guys. There was no judgment, and we would just get it in. Like we get work done.
Right.
But now coming back in the civilian world, it's like now I gotta posture myself. I don't know, calm it down.
No doubt. So would you say the podcast is an outlet for you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not getting paid like specifically for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, like if anyone who wants to sponsor the podcast is doing it because of how I do things, like I probably will never sell out with the podcast because this is my format. Like I control everything in this world.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, what if it did come to that?
I don't think so. Like you could probably sell me on like what I wear, like apparel. I could do that. Yeah. Like as long as I feel comfortable in the clothes, sure, I'll sell it. Right. But if you want to change my format of how I want to do things, and I think this is another thing that got me like so. Your outlet was art. My outlet was music. Like in the early 2000s, Biggie, Tupac, hip hop era, I got really big into music. So I just listened to music. I sang along songs, and that would be my way of an outlet initially. Nipsey Hussle, he recently passed.
You did.
He was I didn't listen to his music before he passed, but after he passed, I started listening his music and his biography. His biggest thing is like own everything you have and like don't sell out. Because I never really understood the term sell out until like recently, until I've actually experienced it myself.
Yeah.
Because like with that, going from commercial gym to like having it being my money versus owning your platform and like establishing your own personal brand, that woke me up 100%. I'm like, okay, there's some things I will sell out, and usually it's for money, but as long it's for a job that is like menial, like if I had lost it, I have other sources of income.
Yeah,
I'll be okay.
Yeah, sometimes as an entrepreneur, I feel like it's hard not to sell out.
Yeah,
because a lot of times when you're starting out, you don't have many opportunities.
Right.
And so anything that comes your way, you kind of feel like you have to jump on, even if it may not align directly with your vision as you set out. Yeah. That's kind of something that I've dealt with a little bit. Sometimes you kind of just have to say yes
the bullet
to everything. But eventually, I mean, keeping in mind the long-term plan, you know, of course.
As long as I feel like you understand your ultimate goal, and again, like your why, I always want to reiterate that. If you don't understand your why, just say yes to everything. Me personally, try everything out, because I find that the people that I work with and I consult with, they go through what is it called, analysis paralysis, where they think of everything so much they end up not doing anything.
Yes, dude. This is key.
Yeah. Big facts.
Dude, that's like, do you know Jim Gaffigan?
Yeah. The
He
comedian.
yeah.